Today's lesson is Chapter 4, Lesson 2, Finding Factors and Prime Factorization. This is going to be one of the reasons why it's so important for 6th graders or anyone to know their math facts. It's going to be way easier for people who know their math facts. So the first thing that we're going to review really quickly is a couple of vocab things. The first word is factors. Factors are any two numbers. They can be, for example, 2 and 3. They can be multiplied together to get a product. The numbers that you multiply to get that product are factors of the product. The second thing you need to know is one that we went over a lot yesterday, but wasn't in the video, is prime numbers. Prime numbers are numbers that are only divisible by 1 and itself. So, for example, 7 is a prime number because you can do 7 times 1 to get 7, and 1 times 7 to get 7, but you can't, there's no other way to get to 7. You can't do 2 times anything, 3 times anything to get to 7. The opposite of that is composite numbers, and composite numbers are numbers that have multiple factors. So, for example, 6. You can do 6 times 1 and 1 times 6, but you can also do 2 times 3, or 3 times 2. So composite have multiple factors. The last thing you need to know is prime factorization. Prime factorization of a number is a number that's broken down into its prime factors. For example, to get 12, you could take 4 times 3 or 6 times 2. But in each of these you have a non-prime number. So prime factorization is when you break it down all the way to prime factors. So 12 is equal to 2 times 2 times 3. See, 2 and 2 and 3 are all prime numbers. And 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 3 is 12. So prime factorization is when you break a number down so that it's only written as a product of its prime factors. So the only numbers, when you're doing prime factorization, the only numbers that you should have at the end are prime numbers. But the first thing we're going to learn today is factors. As I said before, factors are the whole numbers that are multiplied together to find a product. And so let's take a look at an easy number times like 6. And to find its factors, all the numbers that can be multiplied together to get 6. So 1, here's how you do this. 1, and you do 1 times 6, right? So 6 is going to be another one. 6 is going to be the highest one. Are there any other numbers that multiply up to get 6? There are. 2 times 3. So we're going to do 2 and 3. And so those are all the factors of 6. So in your homework it's going to ask you to list all the factors of a number. Let's try one here. 21. We'll do this one together. So first we do 1 and 21. Can 2 go into that? No, it can't. Can 3 go into it? Yes, it can. 3, and that would 3 times 7. So 7 is also 1. Now, are there any other numbers that go into 21? The answer is no. So those are all the factors of 21. Now let's practice a couple together. Let's try 20. Pause and solve. Okay, the first thing we're going to do 1 and 20. Then 2 does go into 20, so we're going to do 2 and 10. 3 does not go into 20. 4 does. And so 4 goes in 5 times, so 4 and 5 are both factors. And now when you get to a situation where you've used two numbers that are next to each other, or you have come to the middle of the number, then we don't need to go any further, because we've already had 4 and 5 and there's no more numbers in between. So our factors are 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, and 20. Let's try one more. 24. Pause and do that one together. Okay. 1, 24. 2, 12. Let's see. 3, 8. 4, 6. So there's a lot for that one. One more. Let's try 17. Go. Pause and solve. Okay. The only ones is 1 and 17, which means 17 is prime. So when a number, to remind you of prime numbers, when a number's only factors are 1 in itself, it is prime. So for example, 29 is prime because the only numbers that go into it are 1 and 29. So, that is the end of part 1 of this video. Make sure you watch part 2.